All right, let me tell you a story. My name's Arjun, and I'm a manager. And for 3 solid weeks, there was this document on my computer. It was basically haunting me. It only had 3 words in it: need to address soon. That's it. But this tiny little file was causing me an absolutely insane amount of anxiety. It was like having my own personal digital rain cloud following me everywhere I went.
And what was I thinking? Oh, it was just this loop in my head, over and over. What if he gets defensive? What if I wreck our relationship? You know, you're not his friend anymore. You're his manager. But that doesn't mean you want the guy to hate you, right? And the person causing all this spiral was Vikram, a guy on my team whose work had just, completely fallen off a cliff.
And here's the thing. The problem? It wasn't complicated. Not at all. It was actually crystal clear, which, honestly, just made the fact that I was doing absolutely nothing about it feel, well, kind of pathetic.
I mean, look at the evidence. The data was all there. Vikram, he used to be so solid, and now he was a total bottleneck. He'd missed his last 4 deadlines, his code was getting buggy, the documentation was sloppy, I even had to rewrite one of his modules myself. And yeah, the team was noticing. They were picking up the slack, and they let me know it.
And then I get this gem in the team chat from Karthik. Vikram's module just failed integration testing again. 3rd time this week. Do we need to talk about this? Ah, the classic "do we need to talk about this?" You know what that really means, right? It's corporate speak for, "Hey boss, are you going to do your job or what?" So yeah, the verdict was in. My master plan of just hoping the problem would magically go away had officially failed, spectacularly. My main takeaway? I was a coward.
Okay, so I finally decided to do something. And what did I do? I did what every manager who's terrified of conflict does. I scheduled a casual check-in. Yeah, this approach had all the strategic depth of a charging rhino.
So we're in the meeting. I have this perfect opening to bring up the actual work issues. And what do? I pivot completely. I ask him, so how's your father doing? I know you mentioned his health issues. I mean, come on. I couldn't do it. Giving tough feedback to someone who's already dealing with family stress, it just felt cruel.
And then he says, "Oh, he's much better, actually. Thanks for asking. Treatment went well." And just like that, poof, my one and only excuse, my get-out-of-jail-free card, gone. Vanished. This was it. The door was wide open. All I had to do was walk through it.
So what did I say? I said, "No, that's all. Just wanted to check in. Keep up the good work." I actually said, "Keep up the good work," to someone whose work was definitely not good. It makes zero logical sense. It's the managerial equivalent of telling someone their shirt's on fire and then just wishing them a nice day. I had just made everything so much worse. In my quest to be the nice manager, I had basically given a thumbs up to the exact behavior that needed to stop. My so-called kindness to Vikram was becoming cruelty to my entire team. Thankfully, my manager, Kavita, must have some kind of 6th sense for when I'm messing up, because she called me into her office, and I confessed everything, the whole embarrassing story. And she just looks at me and says, "So instead of having a potentially uncomfortable conversation, you're letting the situation get worse while your team loses respect for you and Vikram continues down a path that will eventually hurt his career." I mean, wow. She just had this way of summing things up. Then she told me this story about her old manager, Sunil, who was so nice that he never gave her honest feedback, and it basically cost her 2 years of career growth. Think about that. Sunil's kindness was really just selfishness. He was protecting his own comfort, and it came at the expense of Kavita's development. And that's when she showed me this framework that, honestly, it changed my entire perspective on feedback. So she pulls up this chart, the Radical Candor Framework, and it's like a map of human behavior. You've got care personally on one axis and challenge directly on the other. And guess where I was? Right there in the bottom right corner, ruinous empathy. I cared about Vikram, but I wasn't challenging him. And Kavita explained that this is kind in the moment, but it's really cruel in the long run. And the best part was, she didn't just give me theory, she gave me a script, a literal step-by-step guide on how to have this conversation. Start with care, be specific, focus on the impact, stay curious, collaborate, and set clear expectations. It was exactly what I needed. So, armed with this new knowledge, I had this pretty uncomfortable realization. All that time I was avoiding the conversation, it wasn't about protecting Vikram. It was about protecting me, my own comfort. My avoidance was just selfishness pretending to be empathy. So, It was time. Time for the actual conversation. Monday morning. I put 30 minutes on the calendar. And yeah, my hands were shaking. But this time, I had a plan.
So I said, look, I've noticed a pattern in the last few sprints. You've missed 4 straight deadlines. This is really different from your work 6 months ago, which was always so strong. I'm concerned, and I just want to understand what's going on. I kept it specific, focused on the behavior, not him as a person. And it was uncomfortable. He got defensive, for sure, but for the first time, we were having an honest conversation.
And you know what? A surprising thing happened. He admitted he'd been kind of checked out. We agreed to do daily 15-minute syncs to stay on track. I set really clear expectations. He even admitted that he wished I'd said something sooner, and we worked together on a plan. The most amazing part? He didn't hate me. He actually seemed relieved.
He even said, "I appreciate you saying something. It actually helps to know where I stand instead of just wondering." See, he had been wondering. My silence wasn't kindness, it was just ambiguity, and ambiguity creates a ton of anxiety. Clarity, even when it's critical, is a relief. And the result of all this? It was immediate, and it was dramatic. His work got better, the team's frustration totally disappeared, and our relationship actually got stronger because it was built on honesty, not just, polite lies.
So here's the big takeaway from all this. Real kindness isn't just about being nice. It's about caring enough to tell someone the truth. The one thing I was so terrified of, that uncomfortable conversation, it was the only thing that could actually fix everything.
So it makes you wonder, right? Who in your life is waiting for you to be kind enough to be clear with them? Because chances are, your silence, it isn't helping them nearly as much as you think it is.